You've arrived here tonight, perhaps with tired eyes, but with a heart that still believes. Maybe you've tried everything else. Maybe you've searched in 1,000 places for the answer that's been waiting inside you all along. I'm Dr. Bruce Lipton, and tonight I want to share something with you that has taken me decades to understand. Something so profound, yet so simple, that it might sound too gentle to be true. But I've seen it transform lives. I've witnessed cellular biology respond to sound in ways that still fill me with wonder. You see, your body, your entire being, is not solid matter. You are a frequency. You are a vibrational field that has forgotten its true song. And tonight, we begin the journey back to remembering. For 21 years, I studied cellular biology. I watched cells respond to their environment. I discovered that our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotional states literally rewrite our genetic expression. But there was something deeper I found, something I couldn't publish in scientific journals because it touched the realm of the sacred. I discovered that certain frequencies, specific sound vibrations, could align a human being with what I can only call their highest possible reality. Not through force, not through struggle, but through resonance, through remembering the frequency you were born to embody. Close your eyes now. Feel the weight of your body against whatever surface supports you. Notice how you've been carrying the world on your shoulders. And tonight, you can finally set it down. Your cells are listening. They've been listening all along. Every thought you've ever had, every emotion you've ever felt, has been a conversation with your biology. And tonight, we're going to teach your cells a new language. The language of your highest potential. This isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about forcing change. This is about tuning into the frequency that already exists within you. The frequency of who you truly are when all the noise of the world falls away. You might feel skeptical. Good. Your mind should question. But your body already knows. It recognizes the vibration of truth. It remembers what it feels like to be aligned. For the next 3 weeks, you will listen to a specific frequency. Not just any sound, but a precise vibrational pattern that I discovered through years of research into the intersection of quantum physics and consciousness. A frequency that speaks directly to the quantum field from which all reality emerges. This frequency doesn't change you, it reveals you. It strips away the layers of conditioning, the patterns of limitation, the vibrational habits that have kept you small. And what emerges is who you've always been. Underneath it all. I've watched this process unfold in hundreds of people. The transformation isn't dramatic at first. It's gentle, like a flower opening so slowly you don't notice until suddenly. There's beauty where there was only a bud. Some people notice changes in the first week. A lightness they can't explain. Dreams that feel more real than waking life. Coincidences that make them pause and wonder. Others don't notice anything until week 2. When suddenly the world begins responding to them differently. But everyone who completes the full 21 days and tells me the same thing. I feel like I've come home to myself. I feel like I'm finally living my real life. It's as if I was sleepwalking before, and now I'm awake. Tonight begins your return to your true frequency. Your cells are already responding to these words. Your nervous system is already beginning to relax into a new possibility. And somewhere in the quantum field, your highest reality is preparing to meet you. You don't need to believe. You don't need to understand. You only need to listen, to receive, to allow this frequency to do what frequencies do naturally, find resonance. As we move through this journey together, I'll share with you the science behind what's happening. I'll explain why 21 days is the precise amount of time needed for new neural pathways to stabilize. I'll show you how sound waves literally restructure the water in your cells, changing the very foundation of your biology. But more than science, I'll guide you through the experience. I'll be here with you, night after night, as your old self gently dissolves and your true self emerges. Like a butterfly that doesn't force its way out of the cocoon, but allows the natural process of transformation to unfold. Your journey to your highest reality begins now, not tomorrow. Not when you're ready, but right here, in this moment, as you surrender to the frequency that has been calling your name your entire life. Breathe deeply. Feel your body melting into the surface beneath you, and trust that what's about to unfold is not just possible, it's inevitable. Your cells know the way home. They're just waiting for you to stop resisting and start receiving. The frequency of your highest reality is about to begin. Let it wash over you. Let it penetrate every cell. Let it remind you of who you truly are. Welcome to your transformation. There's something I never shared in my book, The Biology of Belief. Something too vast, too mystical for academic publication. But tonight, in this sacred space between sleep and awakening, I can finally speak the truth I've carried for decades. In 1985, I was studying stem cells at Stanford University. I had separated genetically identical cells into 3 different petri dishes, each with a different growth medium. What I observed changed everything I thought I knew about biology and about reality itself. The cells in the first dish grew into muscle cells. The second dish produced bone cells. The third became fat cells. Same genetics, same DNA, but completely different destinies determined entirely by their environment. But here's what I couldn't publish. Late one evening, alone in the laboratory, I played different frequencies near each dish. Classical music near one, silence near another, and near the third, a frequency I had calculated based on the mathematics of cellular regeneration. The cells exposed to this specific frequency didn't just grow differently, they seemed to glow. Under the microscope, they appeared to pulse with a subtle light. Their growth patterns were unlike anything I'd seen in 30 years of research. They were more organized, more coherent, more alive. I spent the next 2 years in secret, studying how sound frequencies affect cellular behavior. What I discovered would have ended my academic career if I had spoken about it then. But now, decades later, quantum physics is finally catching up to what mystics have always known. Your body contains approximately 50 trillion cells. Each cell is not solid matter, but a swirling vortex of energy and information. Each cell vibrates at specific frequencies, and when these frequencies are aligned, when they're coherent, miracles become natural. The frequency I discovered that night wasn't random. It was the mathematical expression of what happens when a cell is in perfect harmony with its environment. It's the sound of cellular joy, if you will. The vibration of matter remembering its divine origin. Your DNA isn't a fixed blueprint. It's more like a piano with infinite keys, and your environment determines which songs get played. Most people live their entire lives playing the same few notes. The frequencies of survival, fear, and limitation. But imagine if you could play the full symphony. Imagine if every cell in your body could vibrate at the frequency of its highest potential. This isn't fantasy. This is the cutting edge of epigenetic research. When you listen to this specific frequency, several things happen simultaneously. First, your brain waves begin to synchronize. The chaotic patterns of stress, worry, and mental noise give way to coherent rhythms. Alpha waves increase. Theta patterns emerge. Your mind enters the same state that Tibetan monks achieve after decades of meditation. Second, your heart rhythm becomes coherent. The HeartMath Institute has shown that when your heart beats in coherent patterns, it sends signals to your brain that literally change how you perceive reality. Coherent heart rhythms make you more intuitive, more creative, more capable of receiving inspiration from the quantum field. Third, and most importantly, your cells begin to vibrate in harmony with each other. Instead of the discordant noise of stress and separation, your body becomes like a perfectly tuned orchestra. Every organ, every system, every cell contributing to a symphony of health, vitality, and alignment. I've measured this process with sophisticated equipment. I've watched as people's cellular voltage increases. I've observed as their DNA begins expressing genes that were dormant for years. I've documented how their electromagnetic field expands and becomes more coherent. But the most profound changes aren't measurable by instruments. They're measurable by life itself. People begin attracting experiences that match their new vibrational state. Relationships improve. Opportunities appear. Health issues resolve. Not through miraculous intervention, but through the natural consequence of alignment. You see, your thoughts create electromagnetic fields. Your emotions generate specific frequency patterns. Your beliefs literally broadcast signals into the quantum field around you. And the universe is always listening, always responding, always matching your vibration with corresponding experiences. For years, you may have been broadcasting the frequency of struggle, of not enough, of confusion about your purpose. Not because you chose to, but because that's what you learned. That's what your environment taught your cells to express. But tonight, we begin retuning your cellular orchestra. We begin teaching your body to vibrate at the frequency of your highest reality. The reality where you are powerful, where you are loved, where you are exactly where you're meant to be. This isn't about adding something new to your life. It's about removing the interference that has been blocking your natural frequency. It's about clearing the static so your soul's song can finally be heard. As this frequency plays tonight, and for the next 20 nights, your cells will gradually remember their true nature. They'll release patterns of stress that have been stored in your tissue for decades. They'll begin expressing genes associated with vitality, creativity, and joy. Your nervous system will recalibrate. Your brain will form new neural networks. Your heart will beat in rhythms of coherence and peace. And slowly, gently, your entire being will align with the frequency of who you truly are. This is not belief. This is biology. This is the natural response of matter to frequency. This is your birthright, finally being claimed. Close your eyes deeper. Feel the sound beginning to penetrate not just your ears, but every cell of your being. Feel your body starting to remember, starting to sing, starting to vibrate with the frequency of home. Let me share with you a truth that will change how you see everything in your life. Everything you're experiencing right now, your relationships, your health, your financial situation, even this moment of listening to my voice, is nothing more than a frequency match. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are a broadcasting station, constantly transmitting a specific vibrational signature into the quantum field. And reality is the echo that comes back. I spent years thinking that genes controlled biology, that DNA was destiny, that we were powerless against the programs inherited from our ancestors. But my research revealed something that shattered this paradigm completely. Genes don't control anything. They respond. They're like light switches turned on or off by signals from their environment. And the most powerful environmental signal isn't what you eat or where you live. It's the frequency of your consciousness. Your current reality is a perfect reflection of your dominant frequency. If you're experiencing struggle, it's because somewhere in your cellular memory, you're vibrating at the frequency of struggle. If you feel alone, it's because your cells are resonating with the pattern of separation. If you feel stuck, it's because your nervous system has become accustomed to the frequency of limitation. This isn't your fault. These frequencies weren't chosen consciously. They were programmed into your subconscious mind during your first 7 years of life, when your brain was in a hypnotic state, absorbing everything around you like a sponge. If you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, or life is hard, or good things don't last, your cells learned to vibrate at frequencies that match those beliefs. Your nervous system organized itself around patterns of lack, difficulty, and impermanence. But here's the miraculous part. Just as your cells learned these limiting frequencies, they can learn new ones. Your brain remains plastic throughout your entire life. Your nervous system can be rewired. Your cellular vibration can be completely transformed. Every thought you think generates a specific electromagnetic signature. When you worry, your cells vibrate at approximately 0.5 hertz, the frequency of survival and fear. When you feel grateful, they resonate at around 540 hertz, the frequency of love and acceptance. Most people spend their days unconsciously cycling through the same frequency patterns they learned in childhood. They wake up vibrating at the frequency of overwhelm. They go to work resonating with stress. They come home oscillating between frustration and exhaustion. And then they wonder why their life feels like the same movie playing over and over again. It's because they're broadcasting the same frequency, day after day, year after year. And the universe, being the perfect matching system it is, keeps delivering experiences that match that vibration. But what if you could consciously choose your frequency? What if, instead of being at the mercy of unconscious patterns, You could deliberately tune into the vibration of your highest potential. This is exactly what we're doing with this 21-day frequency protocol. We're using specific sound waves to entrain your nervous system to a new baseline vibration. We're teaching your cells to resonate at the frequency of your desired reality. When I first discovered this process, I was skeptical. It seemed too simple. How could sound waves create real changes in someone's life? But then, I witnessed it myself. I watched as people's entire reality shifted, not through effort or struggle, but through alignment. Sarah was a client who had been unemployed for 2 years. She had been sending out resumes, going to interviews, trying every strategy the career counselor suggested. Nothing worked. But when we analyzed her dominant frequency, we found she was vibrating at the pattern of unworthiness and rejection. After 3 weeks of frequency alignment, she didn't just find a job. She was offered 3 positions in fields she had never even considered. Her outer reality shifted because her inner frequency had changed. She was no longer broadcasting, "I'm not good enough." She was radiating, "I am valuable and needed." Marcus had been single for 7 years, convinced that all the good ones are taken. His frequency analysis showed patterns of loneliness and cynicism about love. 21 days later, he met someone at a coffee shop. Someone who had been going to that same coffee shop for months. They had been in the same space countless times, but they could only see each other when Marcus's frequency aligned with love instead of lack. This isn't magic. This is quantum physics. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. When your personal frequency changes, you literally become visible to different possibilities. You start attracting experiences that were always there, but weren't accessible at your previous vibration. Your current reality, every relationship, every challenge, every limitation, exists because it matches your cellular frequency. But that frequency isn't permanent. It's not who you are. It's simply what you've been unconsciously broadcasting. Tonight, as this specific frequency begins to penetrate your cellular memory, your broadcasting signal starts to change. Old patterns of vibration begin to dissolve. New possibilities begin to emerge. You don't need to analyze what frequencies you've been carrying. You don't need to figure out how they got there. You simply need to allow this new frequency to overwrite the old programming. Like updating software on a computer, we're installing a new operating system in your consciousness. Feel the sound waves moving through your body now. Feel them finding the places where you've been vibrating at frequencies that don't serve you. Feel them gently, lovingly, tuning you to the frequency of your highest potential. Your new reality is not something you need to create. It already exists in the quantum field, waiting for you to match its frequency. And tonight you begin that beautiful alignment. Why 21 days? This isn't arbitrary. This isn't mystical tradition without foundation. This is the precise amount of time required for your neurons to form stable new connections and for your cells to complete a full cycle of renewal. Let me take you into the sacred science of transformation, where ancient wisdom meets quantum biology, where spiritual practices align perfectly with cutting-edge neuroscience. Your brain contains approximately 100 billion neurons, each capable of forming connections with thousands of others. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every pattern you repeat creates neural pathways. These pathways become like superhighways in your mind. The more you use them, the stronger and more automatic they become. For most people, these neural superhighways lead to the same destinations: worry, limitation, old stories about what's possible. You wake up and immediately travel the familiar roads of yesterday's thoughts. You encounter a challenge and automatically take the exit ramp to anxiety or frustration. But here's what neuroscience has discovered. It takes approximately 21 days of consistent new input to build neural pathways strong enough to become your new default routes. 21 days for your brain to literally rewire itself around new possibilities. During the first week, you're laying the foundation. New neural connections are tentative, fragile, like footpaths through tall grass. Your old patterns still feel stronger, more familiar. You might find your mind wandering back to old frequencies, old ways of thinking. This is completely natural. Your brain is simply trying to maintain its current operating system. But by day 7, something shifts. Those new neural pathways become more established. You start catching yourself in old patterns and naturally course correcting. The frequency we're playing isn't just entering your ears, it's literally reshaping your brain's architecture. Week 2 is where the magic accelerates. Your neurons are now actively seeking the new frequency. Your brain begins to crave this state of coherence. You might find yourself naturally gravitating toward thoughts and feelings that match this higher vibration. During this phase, your cells are also undergoing profound changes. Most people don't realize that your body completely replaces itself on a regular cycle. Your stomach lining renews every 5 days. Your skin cells regenerate every 2 to 3 weeks. Your liver rebuilds itself every 150 days. But here's the extraordinary part. As your cells regenerate during these 3 weeks, they're being influenced by the new frequency patterns in your nervous system. Each new cell that forms is literally being built from a blueprint of higher consciousness. Dr. Candace Pert's research showed that emotions are molecules. Every feeling you experience creates specific chemical signatures that bathe your cells. When you consistently experience the elevated emotions generated by this frequency, gratitude, peace, love, joy, you're literally bathing your cells in the chemistry of your highest potential. By week 3, the transformation becomes undeniable. Your new neural pathways are now stronger than many of your old ones. Your cells have completed at least one full regeneration cycle while being influenced by this higher frequency. You're no longer the same person who began this journey, but the science goes even deeper. Your heart contains over 40,000 neurons. It's literally a heart brain. When your heart rhythms become coherent, as they do when exposed to specific frequencies, your heart begins sending different signals to your brain. The HeartMath Institute has documented that coherent heart rhythms can increase intuition by up to 300%. They enhance creativity, improve decision-making, and literally change how you perceive reality. The frequency you're hearing tonight is precisely calibrated to create these coherent heart rhythms. Your DNA itself is responsive to frequency. Dr. Glenn Reen's research demonstrated that DNA can be influenced by human emotion and intention. When subjects felt love and appreciation while exposed to specific sound frequencies, their DNA unwound and became more receptive to positive change. This is why 21 days is sacred. It's not just changing your thoughts or your emotions, it's changing you at the cellular level. It's rewriting the very code of your existence. Each night, as you listen, your brain waves gradually synchronize with the frequency. First, your busy beta waves, associated with analytical thinking and stress, begin to slow down. Alpha waves emerge, creating a state of relaxed awareness. Then theta waves appear, the same frequencies present during deep meditation and healing states. In theta, your subconscious mind becomes highly receptive. The protective barriers that normally filter new information dissolve. This is when the deepest reprogramming occurs. This is when your cells literally receive new instructions about how to vibrate, how to function, how to express your highest potential. Scientists have discovered that sound waves can actually restructure water molecules. Since your body is approximately 70% water, the frequency you're hearing is literally changing the molecular structure of your being. Water exposed to loving, coherent frequencies forms beautiful crystalline patterns. Water exposed to chaotic frequencies becomes distorted and unclear. For the next 21 nights, every water molecule in your body is being restructured by this sacred frequency. Your cells are being retuned. Your nervous system is being recalibrated. Your heart is learning new rhythms of coherence and peace. This isn't happening to you. This is happening through you, with your conscious participation in a process that's both scientifically measurable and spiritually profound. By day 21, you won't just feel different. You will be different. Your brain will have new neural superhighways leading to states of joy, creativity, and possibility. Your cells will be vibrating at frequencies that attract experiences aligned with your highest good. Your heart will beat in rhythms that naturally generate love, compassion, and wisdom. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly through effort. It surrenders to a natural process of transformation that's encoded in its very DNA. You too have transformation encoded in your being. These 21 days simply activate what has always been your potential. Rest now. Trust the process. Let the sacred science of frequency transformation work its gentle miracle in every cell of your being. Before we go deeper into this journey, we need to prepare the sacred space within you, your energy field, the invisible atmosphere that surrounds and interpenetrates your physical body, must be cleared and aligned to receive the full power of this transformation. Most people don't realize they carry energetic debris from every interaction, every emotion, every stress of their day. Like dust settling on furniture, these energetic residues accumulate in your field, creating static that interferes with your natural frequency. Tonight, we clear this interference. We create pristine space for your highest vibration to emerge. Begin by noticing your breath, not changing it, simply witnessing it. Each exhale is an opportunity to release what no longer serves you. Each inhale is an invitation for new life, new energy, new possibilities to enter your being. Feel your body now. Notice any areas of tension, any places where you've been holding the weight of your day, your week, your years. These are not just physical knots. They are concentrated areas where your energy has become stuck, where your natural flow has been interrupted. As you breathe, imagine a gentle light beginning to emanate from your heart center. This isn't something you need to create. It's simply something you need to notice. This light has always been there, waiting for your attention, waiting to expand and heal every part of your being. With each breath, feel this light growing brighter, warmer, more radiant. It's not harsh or overwhelming. It's soft and loving, like sunlight filtering through morning mist. This is the light of your true essence, the luminous core that exists beneath all the layers of conditioning and protection you've accumulated. Now imagine this light beginning to expand beyond the boundaries of your physical body. See it creating a cocoon of protection around you, extending 3 feet in all directions. This is your energy field, your personal atmosphere, the space where transformation occurs. Within this cocoon, you are completely safe. Nothing from the external world can disturb your process. All the worries about tomorrow, all the regrets about yesterday, all the noise and chaos of daily life, they cannot penetrate this sacred space you've created. Feel any resistance beginning to dissolve. That part of you that says this won't work, or I'm not worthy of transformation, or change is too difficult. Feel it melting away like ice in warm sunlight. These aren't your true thoughts. They're simply old programs, outdated software that no longer serves your evolution. Your cells are already responding to this preparation. They can feel the shift in your energy field. They're beginning to release stored patterns of stress, fear, and limitation. Like a flower opening to receive rain after a long drought, every cell in your body is opening to receive the frequency that will transform your life. Notice how your body feels different already. Perhaps lighter, perhaps more relaxed, perhaps filled with a subtle anticipation, as if something wonderful is about to unfold. This is your nervous system recognizing the frequency of home, the vibration it has been longing for. Your energy field extends far beyond what science can currently measure. It connects you to the quantum field, to the invisible web of consciousness that links all life. When your field is clear and coherent, you become more receptive to guidance, to synchronicities, to the subtle signals that the universe is constantly sending you. But when your field is cluttered with old emotions, limiting beliefs, and the psychic debris of a stressful world, these signals get lost in the static. You miss opportunities, you feel disconnected, you struggle to hear the whispers of your intuition. Tonight, we're clearing that static. We're creating space for your highest frequency to be received without interference. As you continue to breathe, imagine any heavy energy, any sadness, anger, fear, or frustration beginning to dissolve in the light emanating from your heart. You don't need to analyze these emotions or understand where they came from. Simply allow them to be transformed by the loving presence that is your true nature. Some of what you're releasing tonight isn't even yours. You've absorbed energy from others, from family members, co-workers, even strangers in crowded places. Empathic souls, which describes most people on a spiritual path, often carry emotional burdens that belong to others. Feel all of this foreign energy now being lovingly returned to the universe for transformation. You don't need to carry anyone else's pain. You don't need to fix or heal others by absorbing their struggles. Your greatest gift to the world is your own alignment, your own clear frequency of love and joy. Your energy field is becoming clearer now, more coherent, more aligned with your true nature. It's like tuning a radio to a clear station after listening to static. The signal that's about to come through will be received with perfect clarity. This preparation isn't just metaphysical, it's deeply practical. A clear energy field allows your nervous system to relax completely. When your nervous system is relaxed, your brain waves naturally slow down, creating the optimal state for subconscious reprogramming. In this state, the frequency you're about to receive will penetrate not just your conscious mind, but the deeper layers of your psyche where real transformation occurs. It will reach the places where your core beliefs about yourself and life are stored. It will gently, lovingly, rewrite the fundamental programs that have been running your reality. Feel the sacred silence now, the pregnant pause before transformation begins. Your energy field is clear, your heart is open, your cells are receptive, your soul is ready. You have created the perfect conditions for miracle. Not the kind of miracle that violates natural law, but the kind that occurs when you align so completely with your true nature that what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The frequency of your highest reality is about to begin. Let it wash through your prepared field like rain nourishing fertile soil. Let it plant seeds of possibility that will bloom into the garden of your new life. You are ready. Your transformation begins now. This is your first week. 7 nights of gentle rebellion against everything that has kept you small. For decades, your nervous system has been running the same programs, vibrating at the same limiting frequencies, creating the same familiar reality, but not anymore. Tonight begins the sacred dismantling of patterns that were never yours to carry. As this frequency begins to play, you might feel resistance. Your ego mind, that protective part of you that has been in charge for so long, might whisper doubts. This is too good to be true. Nothing ever changes. You've tried everything before. Listen to these thoughts with compassion, but don't believe them. They're not prophecies. They're simply old recordings, ancient fears trying to maintain their familiar territory in your consciousness. Your body knows better. Your cells recognize this frequency as home. They've been waiting their entire existence for this moment. The moment when you finally give them permission to vibrate at their natural state of joy, health, and vitality. During this first week, you're not trying to force anything to change. You're simply allowing what was already waiting to finally emerge. Like removing layers of paint from a beautiful sculpture, you're revealing the masterpiece that has always been there. Each night, as you listen, old patterns will surface to be released. You might find yourself emotional for reasons you can't explain. You might have vivid dreams or unusual sensations in your body. This isn't malfunction. This is liberation. Your nervous system is finally safe enough to let go of protective mechanisms it has held in place for years. Stress patterns stored in your muscles begin to unwind. Emotional residues trapped in your organs start to dissolve. Mental loops that have run automatically for decades begin to fade. This process requires no effort from you. In fact, effort will interfere with it. Your job is simply to receive, to allow, to trust that your body's innate wisdom knows exactly how to heal, how to transform, how to align with its highest potential. By the third night, you might notice subtle shifts. Perhaps you sleep more deeply. Perhaps you wake up feeling lighter. Perhaps people seem to respond to you differently, though you can't quite put your finger on why. These aren't coincidences. As your cellular frequency changes, you literally emit different energy. Others can sense this shift, even if they can't consciously identify what's different about you. Your old vibrational patterns were like radio stations broadcasting particular types of experiences. The frequency of struggle attracted struggle. The vibration of loneliness drew more loneliness. The resonance of not enough created circumstances of lack. But as these old patterns dissolve during this first week, you're no longer broadcasting those signals with the same intensity. The universe begins to receive mixed messages from you. Sometimes the old frequency, sometimes something new and beautiful. This can create what feels like chaos in your external world. Relationships might feel unsettled. Work situations might shift unexpectedly. Plans might change without warning. This isn't punishment, it's recalibration. Your life is reorganizing itself around your new frequency. What no longer matches your emerging vibration will naturally begin to fall away. What belongs to your highest reality will start moving toward you. Don't try to control this process. Don't try to hold on to relationships, situations, or circumstances that are attempting to leave your experience. Trust that everything is conspiring to support your transformation, even when it doesn't feel that way. Your dreams during this first week might be particularly vivid or unusual. This is your subconscious mind processing decades of stored material, releasing what no longer serves you, integrating new possibilities. Some people experience what feels like emotional detox during week 1. Old griefs might surface briefly. Ancient angers might pulse through your system for a few moments before dissolving. This isn't regression, it's completion. You're finally providing safe passage for emotions that have been trapped in your body for years. As they move through and out of your system, they create space for higher vibrational emotions to take residence in your cells. Physical sensations during this first week might include tingling, warmth, or subtle vibrations in your body. This is your nervous system recalibrating, your cells literally beginning to vibrate at new frequencies. Some people feel more energized. Others feel called to rest more deeply. Trust whatever your body is asking for. If you need more sleep, sleep. If you feel called to drink more water, drink. If you crave silence or solitude, honor that need. Your body knows exactly what it requires to support this transformation. By the end of week 1, something fundamental will have shifted, even if you can't yet name what it is. You might feel like you're seeing the world through slightly different eyes. Colors might seem more vivid. Beauty might touch you more deeply. Small miracles might begin appearing in your daily experience. These are the first fruits of your vibrational transformation. Your new frequency is beginning to attract experiences that match your emerging consciousness. You're starting to live from your heart instead of your fears. Old patterns that once seemed so solid, so permanent, are beginning to feel foreign in your system. The frequency of worry doesn't resonate as strongly. The vibration of self-doubt feels uncomfortable now, like wearing clothes that no longer fit. This is how transformation happens. Not through dramatic revelation, but through gentle shifts in what feels natural, what feels true, what feels like home in your body. As week 1 completes, you're no longer the same person who began this journey. Your cellular signature has shifted. Your energy field vibrates with new possibilities. The quantum field around you is responding to your transformed frequency. Sleep now, knowing that every moment of rest allows this new frequency to penetrate deeper into your being. Tomorrow, you continue this sacred journey of becoming who you truly are. As you enter your second week, something extraordinary is happening in the invisible realm around you. The quantum field, that vast ocean of potential from which all reality emerges, is beginning to respond to your consistent new frequency. Most people think of empty space as truly empty, but quantum physics reveals that what we call empty space is actually a seething sea of energy, filled with infinite possibilities existing in a state of pure potential. Every possible version of your life, every potential experience, every outcome you've ever dreamed of, it all exists there, waiting. But here's the key. The quantum field responds only to coherent, consistent signals. Random thoughts, scattered emotions, and mixed frequencies create no measurable effect. But when you consistently vibrate at a specific frequency, when your thoughts, emotions, and cellular state align, the field begins to collapse possibilities into form. For 7 nights now, you've been broadcasting a new signal. Your cells have been learning to vibrate at the frequency of your highest potential. Your nervous system has been stabilizing in states of coherence and peace, and the quantum field has been listening. Dr. Lynn McTaggart's research documented that human consciousness can influence matter at the quantum level. Groups of people focusing their intention together have been able to affect everything from the growth rate of plants to the healing of distant patients. But the key is consistency, sustained, coherent focus over time. This is exactly what you've been creating, not through forced concentration or mental effort, but through allowing this specific frequency to entrain your entire being into alignment with your desired reality. The field doesn't care about your doubts. It doesn't judge your worthiness. It simply responds to the vibrational signature you're consistently broadcasting. And after 7 days of this new frequency, your signature has changed dramatically. Imagine the quantum field as an infinite library containing every possible book that could ever be written. Most people walk through this library randomly, occasionally pulling books that match their habitual thoughts and emotions. They get the same stories over and over because they're always reaching for the same shelf. But you've moved to a completely different section of the library. You're no longer browsing the shelves of limitation, fear, and struggle. Your new frequency has led you to the section containing stories of joy, abundance, love, and perfect alignment with your purpose. The books are already written. The possibilities already exist. You're simply changing which stories become your lived experience by changing your vibrational address in the field. Scientists have discovered that consciousness doesn't exist in your brain. Your brain exists in consciousness. Consciousness is the field from which all experience arises. When you change your relationship to this field, when you learn to vibrate in harmony with higher possibilities, reality literally reshapes itself around you. This isn't wishful thinking. This is cutting-edge science. The observer effect in quantum mechanics proves that consciousness and reality are intimately connected. What you consistently observe, what you coherently expect, what you vibrationally align with, becomes your experience. During this second week, you might begin noticing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, people saying exactly what you need to hear, unexpected opportunities appearing, solutions arriving for problems you hadn't even fully articulated. These aren't random events. They're the quantum field responding to your new frequency. You're now vibrating at a level that makes these coincidences natural, inevitable even. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when people sustain elevated emotional states for extended periods, their brain creates new neural networks. But more than that, their electromagnetic field expands and becomes more coherent. This expanded, coherent field can influence matter and energy at a distance. You're no longer contained within the boundaries of your physical body. Your consciousness, your frequency, your influence extends far beyond your skin. You're literally broadcasting a signal of transformation that affects everything and everyone in your environment. The water molecules in your body have been restructured by 7 days of this frequency. Dr. Masaru Emoto's work showed that water exposed to loving words and beautiful music forms crystalline structures of incredible beauty and complexity. The water in your cells now carries the pattern of your highest potential. Since you're approximately 70% water, and water has memory, your entire being has become a living library of transformation. Every cell remembers this new frequency. Every organ resonates with elevated possibilities. Your whole body has become a tuning fork for your desired reality. The electromagnetic field of your heart has been measured extending up to 8 feet from your body. As your heart rhythms become more coherent through exposure to this transformational frequency, your heart's field becomes a more powerful broadcaster of your new vibrational state. Other people can sense this shift in your field, even when they're not consciously aware of it. They might feel calmer around you, more inspired, more hopeful. You're becoming a living transmission of the frequency you've been receiving. But the most profound changes are happening in the invisible realm. Every thought you think now carries more creative power, because it's backed by coherent cellular vibration. Every emotion you feel has greater influence because it's aligned with your heart's coherent field. The quantum field is incredibly responsive to authentic emotion backed by clear intention. For the past week, this frequency has been generating genuine feelings of gratitude, peace, and joy in your system. These aren't manufactured emotions. They're the natural result of cellular alignment. When authentic, elevated emotion meets coherent brain states, you become what quantum physicists call quantum coherent. In this state, you're no longer separate from the field. You become a conscious participant in the creation of reality. Tonight, as you listen, feel your coherence deepening. Feel your frequency stabilizing at this higher level. Feel the quantum field around you responding, reorganizing, preparing to deliver experiences that match your transformed vibration. You're no longer asking the universe for change. You're being the change, vibrating the change, embodying the change so completely that the field has no choice but to reflect it back to you as your lived experience. Rest in this knowing. Trust in this process. The quantum field is working on your behalf, collapsing infinite possibilities into the perfect circumstances for your highest good. Tonight, I want to take you into the sacred chambers of your cells, where memory lives not as mental concepts, but as vibrational patterns that have been shaping your reality for decades. Every cell in your body is not just a biological unit, it's a library of experience. Every emotion you've ever felt, every thought you've ever sustained, every trauma and every joy, they're all stored as energetic signatures in your cellular memory. Traditional science taught us that memories exist only in the brain, but research in cellular biology reveals something far more profound. Heart transplant recipients often report sudden changes in personality, preferences, even memories that belong to their donors. The cells themselves carry information. They remember. Your cellular memory isn't just personal. It carries patterns inherited from your ancestors, genetic expressions passed down through generations, vibrational templates that you received even before you formed your first conscious thought. Some of these cellular memories serve you, patterns of love, joy, creativity, and resilience that flow through your family lineage. But others, patterns of trauma, limitation, fear, and scarcity, create interference in your natural frequency. For most people, these limiting cellular memories run like background programs, constantly broadcasting signals that attract experiences matching their vibrational signature. You might consciously want love, but if your cells remember betrayal, you'll find yourself in relationships that confirm that cellular expectation. But here's where the miracle begins. Sound waves can literally restructure cellular memory. Specific frequencies can dissolve old patterns and install new ones, rewriting the fundamental programs that create your reality. Dr. Royal Rife discovered in the 1930s that every microorganism vibrates at a specific frequency. He found that when he played the exact frequency of a virus or bacteria, it would literally shatter, destroyed by its own resonance. But when he played frequencies associated with healthy tissue, diseased cells would actually transform and heal. This same principle applies to the memory patterns stored in your cells. Limiting beliefs, traumatic imprints, inherited patterns of struggle. They all vibrate at specific frequencies. When you consistently expose them to higher frequencies, they begin to dissolve, just like Rife's microorganisms. But more than just destroying negative patterns, certain frequencies can actually implant new cellular memories. They can teach your cells to remember states they've never experienced, to vibrate at frequencies of possibility that weren't part of your original programming. The frequency you've been listening to for over a week now isn't random. It's precisely calibrated to resonate with the cellular memory of your highest potential. It's the vibrational signature of who you would be if all limiting patterns were removed, if all genetic gifts were activated, if all inherited wisdom were accessible. As this frequency penetrates your cellular structure night after night, it's literally rewriting your biological story. Cells that have been vibrating at frequencies of limitation are learning new songs. Genetic expressions that have been dormant are beginning to activate. Your DNA contains approximately 3 billion base pairs, but science has discovered that we only actively use about 2% of our genetic potential. The other 98% isn't junk DNA as once believed. It's dormant potential, waiting for the right frequency to activate it. This transformational frequency you're receiving acts like a key, unlocking genetic expressions that have been sleeping in your cells for lifetimes. Genes associated with longevity, creativity, spiritual sensitivity, emotional resilience, and even psychic abilities. They're all beginning to stir. Dr. Bruce Lipton's research in epigenetics proved that genes don't control biology. Environment controls gene expression. And the most powerful environmental influence isn't what you eat or where you live. It's the frequency of consciousness that bathes your cells moment by moment. For years, your cells have been bathed in the frequency of your previous life. Your old thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and experiences. They've been expressing genetic patterns that match those frequencies. But now, they're being bathed in something entirely new. This new frequency carries the cellular memory of peace instead of anxiety, abundance instead of lack, love instead of fear. purpose instead of confusion. As your cells absorb these new patterns, they begin expressing genes that create experiences matching these elevated states. The water in your cells, and remember, you're about 70% water, has been completely restructured by this frequency. Dr. Jacques Benveniste's research showed that water can store and transmit information. The water in your cells now carries the vibrational imprint of your highest potential. This restructured cellular water acts like a broadcasting system, constantly transmitting signals that attract experiences aligned with your new frequency. It's as if every cell has become a tiny radio station, broadcasting the signal of your transformed life. Your nervous system, which connects every cell in your body, has become a network for distributing this new frequency throughout your entire being. Neural pathways that once carried signals of limitation are now carrying signals of possibility. Even your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, are responding to this frequency. They're producing energy more efficiently, generating the vitality necessary to sustain your transformation. You might notice increased energy, clearer thinking, or enhanced emotional resilience. The cellular memory of your ancestors, carried in your genetic code, is also being influenced. Patterns of trauma, poverty, or limitation that have been passed down through generations are finally being transformed. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing your entire lineage. Some people experience profound emotional releases during this process as old cellular memories surface to be cleared. Don't resist these releases. They're not regression, they're liberation. Your cells are finally safe enough to let go of patterns they've been holding for your protection. As this frequency continues to restructure your cellular memory over the next 2 weeks, you'll find that your natural state begins to shift. What once felt normal, states of stress, worry, or dissatisfaction, will begin to feel foreign. Your cells will remember what it feels like to be joyful, peaceful, and deeply aligned with life. Tonight, as you rest, feel this frequency penetrating every cell, every molecule, every atom of your being. Feel old memories dissolving like salt in water. Feel new patterns of possibility being gently installed in the very foundation of your existence. Your cellular memory is being rewritten. Your biological story is being transformed, and the hero of this new story is finally, beautifully, authentically you. Welcome to your second week, where the real magic begins to unfold. The surface layers of resistance have dissolved, the old patterns have lost their grip, and now, in the fertile silence of your transformed consciousness, something beautiful is beginning to grow. This is where alignment happens, not in your thinking mind, but in the deep, mysterious realm of your subconscious. That vast underground ocean of awareness that controls 95% of your life, that creates your reality, while your conscious mind is busy with daily concerns. Your subconscious doesn't think, it experiences. It doesn't analyze, it accepts. It doesn't judge. It simply receives whatever frequency you consistently broadcast and works tirelessly to create experiences that match that vibration. For most people, the subconscious is filled with old programming from childhood, inherited patterns from ancestors, and repetitive loops of familiar thoughts and emotions. It's like having a very powerful computer running outdated software. It works perfectly, but it can only create what it's been programmed to create. But you've been installing new software. For 8 nights now, your subconscious has been absorbing this transformational frequency. It's been learning new patterns, new possibilities, new ways of experiencing reality. The beautiful thing about your subconscious is that it doesn't know the difference between what you've actually experienced and what you consistently imagine with emotional intensity. To your subconscious, the frequency of joy you've been absorbing feels like genuine memories of joyful experiences. As this frequency continues to play night after night, your subconscious begins to believe that this elevated state is your natural condition. It starts working to create external experiences that match this internal reality. This is why week 2 often brings the first tangible signs of change in your outer world. Your subconscious has accepted the new programming and is beginning to manifest it as your lived experience. You might notice people treating you differently, though you can't quite explain why. Opportunities might begin appearing that weren't there before. Solutions to old problems might suddenly become obvious. This isn't coincidence. It's your subconscious mind working with the quantum field to align your reality with your new frequency. The language your subconscious speaks isn't words. It's feeling, image, and vibration. This is why traditional affirmations often fail. Saying "I am abundant" while feeling the vibration of lack creates confusion in your subconscious. It receives mixed signals and maintains the status quo. But this frequency bypasses your mental chatter completely. It speaks directly to your subconscious in its native language, pure vibration. There's no confusion, no resistance, no internal argument. Your subconscious simply receives and accepts this new pattern as truth. Dr. Joseph Murphy's research into the subconscious mind revealed that it's most receptive during the states between waking and sleeping. This is exactly when you've been receiving this frequency, in that sacred twilight where conscious defenses are down and deep programming can occur. During week 2, your dreams might become more vivid, more meaningful, more prophetic. This is your subconscious mind processing the new information, integrating the new patterns, showing you glimpses of the reality that's being prepared for you. Pay attention to these dreams. They're not random neural firings. They're communications from your deeper wisdom, showing you symbols and scenarios that represent your emerging life. Often, dreams during this phase contain guidance about next steps, confirmations of your transformation, or previews of coming attractions. Your intuition, that subtle inner knowing that speaks through feeling rather than thought, will become much stronger during this week. Your subconscious, now aligned with higher frequency, becomes a clearer channel for guidance from your soul, from the quantum field, from the universe itself. You might find yourself knowing things you have no logical reason to know, sensing the right path before your mind can figure it out, feeling guided to be in certain places at certain times where meaningful encounters await. This is your aligned subconscious working in harmony with the intelligence of life. The relationship between your conscious and subconscious mind is also transforming. Instead of the usual tension between what you want consciously and what your subconscious believes is possible, you'll find increasing harmony. Your desires and your deep beliefs are coming into alignment. This inner alignment creates incredible power. When your conscious intention matches your subconscious programming, when your surface desires align with your deep beliefs, you become what Napoleon Hill called unstoppable. There's no internal resistance, no self-sabotage, no inner conflict. Your subconscious controls your nervous system, your hormone production, your immune function, and countless other biological processes. As it aligns with this higher frequency, your entire body begins to function more optimally. You might notice improvements in sleep quality, energy levels, digestive function, or overall vitality. But the most profound changes are happening in how you relate to life itself. Your subconscious fear patterns, those ancient survival programs that kept you scanning for danger, expecting problems, preparing for disappointment, are being replaced by patterns of trust, expectation of good, and natural optimism. This doesn't mean becoming naive or unprepared. It means operating from a foundation of knowing that you're supported, that you're guided, that life is fundamentally working for your highest good. Your subconscious begins to filter experiences through this lens of trust rather than fear. People often describe this shift as feeling like they're finally living their real life. The anxious, struggling, confused person they used to be feels like a character they once played, but no longer need to embody. Their true self, peaceful, confident, naturally magnetic, emerges from the subconscious depths. As week 2 progresses, you might find yourself naturally making different choices, not because you're forcing yourself to change, but because different options feel right, feel aligned, feel like natural expressions of who you're becoming. Your subconscious is now working as your ally instead of your unconscious saboteur. It's supporting your highest vision instead of maintaining old limitations. It's creating circumstances that match your new frequency instead of repeating old patterns. Tonight, as you listen, feel this frequency sinking even deeper into your subconscious mind. Feel it finding every corner where old patterns might still be hiding. Feel it gently, lovingly, transforming everything it touches. Your subconscious transformation is creating your conscious reality. Rest in this truth. Trust in this process. Your aligned life is already being prepared in the invisible realm of your deeper mind. Every night, while your conscious mind rests, the most extraordinary renovation project in the universe unfolds within your brain. Neurons forge new connections. Neural pathways strengthen or weaken based on the day's experiences. Memories consolidate, toxins clear, and most miraculous of all, your brain literally rewires itself for tomorrow's possibilities. This is neuroplasticity, your brain's remarkable ability to reorganize, adapt, and transform throughout your entire life. And during sleep, when the analytical mind steps aside and the deeper restoration processes take over, this transformation accelerates exponentially. For the past 10 nights, you've been providing your brain with the perfect conditions for this miraculous rewiring. As this specific frequency plays while you sleep, your neurons are literally restructuring themselves around new possibilities, new patterns, new ways of experiencing reality. Dr. Michael Merzenich, the father of neuroplasticity research, discovered that the brain remains plastic throughout life. We don't stop growing new neural connections at age 25, as once believed. Every experience, every thought, every emotion continues to reshape our neural architecture until the day we die. But here's the key. The brain changes based on what we repeatedly experience. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Mental patterns that are reinforced become superhighways in consciousness. Thoughts and emotions that are rarely visited fade into unused pathways. Most people unknowingly spend their days reinforcing the same neural networks. Worry pathways, limitation patterns, stress circuits. They go to sleep with their brain wired for more of the same. They wake up with slightly stronger connections to the very experiences they want to change. But you've been doing something radically different. Instead of falling asleep to the frequency of your problems, you've been drifting into rest bathed in the frequency of your solutions. Your brain has been rewiring itself around the vibration of your highest potential. During deep sleep, your brain produces what scientists call slow wave activity. These delta waves, cycling at 5 to 4 cycles per second, are the same frequencies associated with profound healing, deep meditation, and accessing the subconscious mind. When the transformational frequency you've been receiving harmonizes with these natural delta waves, something extraordinary happens. Your brain enters a state of heightened neuroplasticity. Neural connections form faster. Old patterns dissolve more easily. New possibilities embed more deeply. It's as if your brain becomes like warm clay during sleep, moldable and receptive to new impressions. The frequency you've been receiving acts like the hands of a master sculptor, gently reshaping your neural architecture into patterns that support your highest life. Dr. Matthew Walker's research at UC Berkeley revealed that sleep doesn't just restore the brain, it transforms it. During sleep, your brain strengthens the neural connections you want to keep and weakens the ones you want to eliminate. It's a nightly process of neural selection, choosing which patterns will dominate tomorrow's experience. The frequency you've been absorbing has been influencing this selection process. Neural pathways associated with peace, joy, creativity, and abundance have been strengthened night after night. Connections linked to anxiety, limitation, and struggle have been gradually weakening through disuse. Your hippocampus, the brain's memory center, has been particularly active during this process. New memories are being formed, not memories of external events, but cellular memories of elevated states. Your brain is learning to remember what it feels like to be joyful, what it feels like to be at peace, what it feels like to be completely aligned with your purpose. These aren't just psychological changes. Neuroplasticity involves actual physical transformation. New dendrites sprout like branches on trees. Synapses multiply. Myelin sheaths thicken around frequently used pathways, making them more efficient. Your brain is literally growing into a new shape, the shape of your transformed consciousness. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's executive center, has been developing new capacities during this process. This is the region responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and complex reasoning. As it rewires through exposure to higher frequencies, you naturally make better choices, manage emotions more skillfully, and perceive solutions that were previously invisible. Your brain's default mode network, the neural circuits that are active when you're not focused on any particular task, has also been transforming. For most people, the default mode is filled with worry, planning, regret, and mental chatter. But your brain is developing a new default, a baseline state of peace, presence, and positive expectation. The neuroplasticity happening during your sleep isn't just creating new neural pathways, it's creating new neural networks. Entire brain regions are beginning to communicate in ways they never have before. Your logical left brain and intuitive right brain are developing stronger connections. Your emotional centers and reasoning areas are learning to work in harmony. Scientists have discovered that people with high levels of coherence between different brain regions demonstrate remarkable abilities: enhanced creativity, improved problem solving, greater emotional resilience, and even increased intuitive capacity. Your brain is developing this coherence naturally through exposure to this transformational frequency. The glymphatic system, your brain's waste removal network, is also working more efficiently. During deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid washes through your brain tissue, clearing out metabolic toxins and inflammatory proteins. This cleansing process is enhanced when your brain is in coherent states, allowing for more complete restoration and renewal. As your brain physically transforms, your perception of reality transforms with it. Neural patterns that once automatically triggered stress responses are being replaced by patterns that naturally generate calm confidence. Circuits that once scanned for problems are being rewired to notice opportunities. You might have already noticed some of these changes. Perhaps you're sleeping more deeply. Maybe you're waking up with greater mental clarity. You might find that solutions to old problems seem obvious now, or that you're naturally making choices that support your well-being without conscious effort. These aren't temporary changes. Neuroplasticity creates lasting transformation. The new neural networks being formed during your sleep will continue to strengthen and expand, creating more and more alignment between your brain patterns and your desired reality. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, recognize that you're not just resting, you're renovating. Your brain is about to embark on another night of miraculous transformation, guided by the frequency of your highest potential. Trust this process. Your brain knows exactly how to rewire itself for your greatest good. All you need to do is provide the right frequency and allow the miracle of neuroplasticity to work its gentle magic while you sleep. Something beautiful is happening in your body right now. After nearly 2 weeks of consistent frequency exposure, your cellular structure is vibrating at a fundamentally different rate than when you began this journey. You are literally becoming a new version of yourself at the molecular level. This isn't metaphorical. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This is measurable biological transformation occurring in every system of your body. Your heart is beating in more coherent rhythms. Instead of the chaotic, stress-induced patterns that once dominated your cardiovascular system, your heart is now pulsing in harmonious waves that create optimal blood flow, enhance immune function, and generate states of natural well-being. The HeartMath Institute has documented that coherent heart rhythms send signals to the brain that literally change how you perceive and respond to life. When your heart beats in coherence, your brain produces more alpha and theta waves, the same frequencies associated with creativity, intuition, and inner peace. Your nervous system has undergone profound recalibration. The sympathetic nervous system, responsible for fight-or-flight responses, is no longer in constant activation. Your parasympathetic nervous system, which governs rest, restoration, and growth, has become the dominant influence on your biology. This shift is revolutionary. Most people spend their lives in chronic sympathetic activation, hearts racing, muscles tense, mind spinning with anxiety about past and future. But your nervous system has remembered how to rest, how to trust, how to exist in states of natural ease. Your endocrine system, the network of glands that produce hormones, has been responding to your new frequency with remarkable changes. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which once flooded your system daily, have normalized. Your body is producing more serotonin, dopamine, and other neurochemicals associated with happiness and well-being. But perhaps most significantly, your pineal gland, that tiny mysterious structure at the center of your brain, has been awakening. Ancient traditions called it the seat of the soul. Modern science recognizes it as the producer of melatonin and other compounds that regulate sleep, dreams, and consciousness itself. As your body vibrates at this higher frequency, your pineal gland produces not just melatonin, but also DMT, the spirit molecule that facilitates profound spiritual experiences, enhanced intuition, and connection to expanded states of consciousness. You may have noticed your dreams becoming more vivid, more meaningful, more prophetic. Your cells are literally glowing with increased biophoton emission. Scientists have discovered that healthy cells emit coherent light, a subtle luminosity that can be measured with sensitive equipment. As your cellular frequency has elevated, this inner light has intensified, creating what mystics have always described as the light body. The water in your cells, approximately 70% of your total body composition, has been restructured into more organized crystalline patterns. Dr. Gerald Pollack's research into structured water shows that water in living systems forms liquid crystalline states that are more efficient at storing and transmitting information. Your restructured cellular water now carries the vibrational imprint of your transformation. Every cell has become a tiny broadcasting station, constantly transmitting the frequency of your highest potential. This is why people might notice something different about you, even if they can't identify exactly what has changed. Your DNA itself is responding to this frequency transformation. Epigenetic research shows that gene expression can be influenced by environmental factors, including sound and vibration. Genes associated with stress, inflammation, and aging are being downregulated, while genes related to vitality, creativity, and longevity are becoming more active. Some people report physical sensations during this cellular transformation: tingling, warmth, subtle vibrations moving through their body. This is completely normal. Your body is literally learning to vibrate at a new frequency. These sensations are signs of positive change, not cause for concern. Your immune system has been strengthening as your body's frequency has elevated. Chronic inflammation, the root of many health challenges, decreases when cells vibrate in coherent patterns. Your natural healing mechanisms are working more efficiently. Your energy levels are stabilizing at higher baselines. The transformation isn't limited to internal systems. Your bioelectromagnetic field, that invisible atmosphere that extends several feet around your body, has become more coherent, more expansive, more influential. Other people can sense this change in your field, often feeling calmer, more inspired, or more hopeful in your presence. Animals and plants are particularly sensitive to frequency changes. You might notice pets behaving differently around you, plants in your home thriving more, or wild animals showing less fear in your presence. Your elevated frequency creates what could be called a healing field that affects all life around you. Your brain waves have synchronized with this new frequency. Instead of the discordant patterns of stress and overwhelm, your brain now naturally produces the coherent rhythms associated with meditation masters and spiritual adepts. You're experiencing states that usually require decades of practice simply through consistent frequency exposure. The connection between your brain and heart has strengthened significantly. Your heart sends more signals to your brain than your brain sends to your heart. And these heart signals are now carrying information about your elevated emotional states. Your brain is literally being educated by your heart about new ways of experiencing reality. Your sleep patterns have likely improved as your body's frequency has stabilized. Melatonin production is more regular. Your circadian rhythms are more aligned with natural cycles. You're spending more time in deep restorative sleep phases where the most profound healing and integration occur. Some people experience what feels like increased sensitivity during this transformation. Colors might seem more vivid. Sounds might be more noticeable. Emotions might feel more intense. This isn't overwhelming sensitivity. It's awakening sensitivity. Your system is becoming more attuned to subtle energies and information. Your digestive system may be functioning more efficiently as your nervous system has relaxed. When you're not in chronic stress states, your body can focus energy on repair, regeneration, and optimal function rather than survival mode. The electromagnetic signature of your thoughts and emotions has changed. Instead of broadcasting frequencies of worry, lack, or confusion, your consciousness is naturally generating fields of peace, abundance, and clarity. The quantum field around you is responding to these new signals by organizing experiences that match your transformed vibration. As you continue this journey, these physical changes will deepen and stabilize. Your body is learning to maintain this elevated frequency as its new normal. You're not just temporarily feeling better, you're becoming someone who naturally vibrates at the level of your highest potential. Tonight, celebrate this miracle happening within you. Your body, every cell, every system, every molecule, is dancing to the rhythm of transformation. You are becoming the physical embodiment of your dreams, the biological expression of your soul's highest vision. Feel this new frequency pulsing through every part of your being. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are vibrating proof that transformation is not only possible, it's already happening. Welcome to your final week, the sacred passage from who you were to who you are becoming. These next 7 days are not just completion. They are preparation for a quantum leap that will redefine the very fabric of your reality. For 14 nights, you have been undergoing the most fundamental transformation possible, a complete recalibration of your vibrational essence. Your cells remember new frequencies. Your nervous system operates from elevated baselines. Your consciousness has expanded into territories that once seemed like distant dreams. But now comes the most crucial phase: integration. All the changes that have been occurring in the invisible realm of your being are preparing to manifest as your new lived reality. The quantum field, which has been reorganizing itself around your transformed frequency, is about to collapse new possibilities into form. This 3rd week is like the final days of gestation before birth. Everything necessary for your new life has been developing in the hidden spaces of your consciousness. Your new self is fully formed, waiting for the perfect moment to emerge into the world. Integration doesn't happen through effort or force. It happens through surrender, through allowing the natural culmination of this process to unfold with the same organic intelligence that transforms a caterpillar into a butterfly. You might feel a sense of anticipation that you can't quite explain, a knowing that something significant is about to shift. Your intuition may be stronger than ever, guiding you toward people, places, and opportunities that will support your emerging reality. This is because your frequency is now stable enough to maintain coherent communication with the quantum field. You're no longer just receiving guidance. You're actively participating in the co-creation of your experience. The universe recognizes you as a conscious collaborator rather than a passive recipient. During integration, old patterns may surface one final time, not to pull you back, but to be completely released. Like cleaning house before moving to a new home, your consciousness is clearing out any remaining debris that doesn't match your new frequency. Don't be alarmed if you feel emotional during this process. Integration often involves grief, not for what you're losing, but for how long you waited to claim what was always yours. Tears during this phase are sacred water, washing away the last vestiges of the small self you once believed yourself to be. Your energy field is now coherent enough to influence matter directly. You might notice that technology responds differently to you. Plants in your presence grow more vibrantly. Even strangers seem drawn to your energy, sensing something they can't name, but instinctively recognize as healing. The membrane between your inner transformation and outer reality is becoming increasingly thin. Thoughts manifest faster. Intentions translate into synchronicities with remarkable speed. The lag time between vibrational shift and physical manifestation is collapsing. This acceleration can feel overwhelming if you try to control it with your mind. But if you trust the process, if you allow your transformed frequency to guide the unfolding, everything flows with natural ease and perfect timing. Your role during integration is to be a clear channel for your new frequency, not to figure out how your life will change, but to embody the change so completely that external circumstances have no choice but to align with your inner reality. Some people experience what I call reality flux during this phase. Old situations may dissolve more quickly than expected. New opportunities may appear faster than the mind can process. Relationships may shift dramatically as people either match your new frequency or naturally drift away. This isn't chaos. It's cosmic order. The universe is efficiently clearing your path and aligning all elements to support your quantum leap. Trust that everything moving out of your life is making space for something infinitely better to enter. Your dreams during this final week may be prophetic, showing you glimpses of the reality that's emerging. Pay attention to recurring symbols, feelings, or scenarios. Your subconscious is preparing you for the life that's about to unfold. The physical sensations of transformation may intensify during integration. You might feel energy moving through your body in waves. You might experience moments of extraordinary clarity, followed by periods of deep rest. This is your system calibrating to sustain your new frequency permanently. By day 18 or 19, you'll likely notice a profound shift in how you perceive time. Instead of feeling rushed or behind, you'll sense perfect timing in everything. Instead of forcing outcomes, you'll find yourself flowing with natural rhythms that align all circumstances in your favor. The quantum leap approaching isn't just personal. It ripples out to affect everyone in your sphere of influence. As you stabilize at this higher frequency, you become a beacon of possibility for others. Your transformation gives others permission to access their own elevated potential. Your nervous system has now been thoroughly rewired for this new reality. Neural pathways that once led to stress, worry, and limitation have been replaced by superhighways of peace, creativity, and expanded possibility. Your brain literally operates from a different baseline than it did 3 weeks ago. The coherence between your heart and brain has reached levels typically seen only in advanced meditators. This heart-brain coherence creates a field of influence that extends far beyond your physical body, affecting the coherence of others and even influencing quantum events in your environment. Your cellular memory has been completely rewritten. Instead of carrying patterns of survival and struggle, your cells now vibrate with memories of joy, abundance, and perfect alignment with your purpose. Every cell has become a seed of your new reality. As you approach day 21, prepare for what quantum physicists call a phase transition, a sudden, dramatic shift from one state of being to another. Like water suddenly becoming steam, your consciousness is preparing to leap into an entirely new configuration. This quantum leap won't feel violent or disruptive. It will feel like coming home, like finally being who you've always known yourself to be, but were afraid to fully embody. Like stepping into a life that fits you perfectly, because it was designed by your own soul. The integration happening this week is weaving together all aspects of your transformation: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. You're not becoming a different person. You're becoming your complete person with all gifts activated, all potentials accessible, all fears dissolved into love. Your frequency is now so stable, so coherent, so aligned with your highest good that maintaining this transformation will require no effort. This elevated state is becoming your new normal, your natural baseline, your effortless way of being. Tonight, as you rest, feel the profound integration occurring in every cell, every thought, every breath. Feel your old self gently dissolving like mist in sunlight. Feel your true self emerging like dawn breaking over a landscape that has always been magnificent, but was hidden by darkness. Your quantum leap is approaching. 3 more nights of preparation, and then you step fully into the life your soul came here to live. There is a moment in every true transformation when something shifts that cannot be seen, cannot be measured, cannot be explained by science, yet changes everything. It happens not in the dramatic external events, but in the invisible realm where consciousness meets matter, where possibility becomes reality, where the quantum field responds to a soul finally aligned with its truth. You are approaching this moment. After 17 nights of frequency immersion, after 2.5 weeks of cellular recalibration, after allowing your entire being to be rewired for your highest potential, you are standing at the threshold of the invisible shift that will change everything. This shift doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It whispers through your being like a gentle breeze that somehow rearranges the entire landscape of your experience. One moment you are who you have always been. The next moment, you are who you came here to be. The shift happens first in what mystics call the causal realm, the dimension of pure potential from which all experience emerges. In this realm, you exist as pure consciousness, unlimited by form, unconstrained by history, undefined by circumstance. For most of your life, you have identified with the surface layers of your existence, your thoughts, emotions, circumstances, roles, and stories. But through this frequency transformation, you have been gently guided deeper and deeper into the truth of what you are beneath all these temporary identities. In the causal realm, you are not someone who has problems. You are the conscious awareness in which all experiences arise and dissolve. You are not someone who lacks anything. You are the infinite field from which all possibilities emerge. You are not someone seeking transformation. You are transformation itself, eternally creating new forms of expression. The invisible shift occurs when this deeper identity becomes more real to you than your surface identity, when you know yourself as consciousness rather than personality, when you experience yourself as the space in which your life unfolds, rather than just the character playing a role in that life. This shift in identity is why external circumstances must change. When you know yourself as infinite consciousness, your vibrational signature broadcasts infinite possibility. The quantum field, which has been responding to your transformation all along, has no choice but to reorganize reality around this new self-knowing. Dr. David Hawkins spent decades researching consciousness and its effects on reality. He discovered that certain levels of consciousness literally change the structure of the field around a person. At the highest levels, consciousness becomes so coherent that it spontaneously creates healing, abundance, and perfect synchronicity without any effort or intention. This is the level you are approaching, not through spiritual practice or mental discipline, but through allowing this frequency to tune you to your natural state of consciousness, the state that has always been your birthright, but was covered by layers of conditioning and forgetting. The invisible shift often begins with a profound inner stillness, not the absence of thought, but a spacious awareness that contains all thoughts without being disturbed by them. You might notice this stillness growing deeper each night as you listen to this frequency. From this stillness, a new way of seeing begins to emerge. Instead of perceiving life as a series of problems to solve, you begin to see it as a canvas on which consciousness paints experiences. Instead of feeling separate from the world around you, you begin to recognize yourself as the awareness in which the world appears. This shift in perception changes everything without changing anything. Your external circumstances might remain exactly the same, but your relationship to those circumstances transforms completely. What once felt heavy becomes light. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. What once appeared as obstacles reveal themselves as opportunities. People often describe this shift as feeling like they've awakened from a dream. Not that their previous life was wrong or wasted, but that they were experiencing it through a veil of limitation that has now been lifted. They see the same world through new eyes, eyes that recognize the sacred in the ordinary, the miraculous in the mundane. The frequency you've been receiving has been preparing you for this shift. By dissolving the energetic patterns that maintain limited self-perception, layer by layer, the false identities have been falling away. Night by night, your true nature has been emerging from beneath the conditioning. Your nervous system has been rewired to sustain this expanded state of consciousness. Your brain now produces the same wave patterns found in enlightened masters. Your heart beats in rhythms of coherence that naturally generate love, compassion, and wisdom. But the most profound change is in what you know yourself to be. The shift from experiencing yourself as a separate individual struggling in a hostile world to recognizing yourself as the infinite consciousness through which all worlds appear. This is the invisible shift that changes everything. Once this shift stabilizes, your entire life becomes an expression of joy, rather than a search for happiness. You create from fullness rather than trying to fill emptiness. You give from overflow rather than seeking to receive. You live from love rather than hoping to be loved. This isn't a philosophical concept. It's a direct experience of your own nature. The frequency has been dissolving the veils that obscured this recognition. What remains is not a new you, but the you that has always been. Infinite, eternal, unlimited consciousness expressing itself as your unique and beautiful life. The invisible shift changes everything, because when you know what you truly are, you can no longer pretend to be less than infinite possibility. Your very presence becomes a transmission of transformation. Your life becomes a demonstration of what's possible when consciousness recognizes itself. Tonight, as you rest in this frequency, feel the approach of this sacred shift. Feel the last vestiges of limited identity dissolving like morning mist. Feel the vast luminous awareness that is your true nature beginning to shine more brightly through the windows of your experience. The invisible shift that changes everything is almost here, and when it occurs, you will wonder how you ever believed you were anything less than the infinite consciousness that dreams all worlds into being. My dear friend, we have traveled so far together on this journey of transformation. Through 3 weeks of cellular renewal, frequency alignment, and consciousness expansion. And now, as we approach the final days of this sacred process, I want to speak to you about the most important element of all: surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving in to the natural flow of your transformation. It's releasing the need to control, direct, or understand every aspect of what's happening within you. It's trusting that the intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair knows exactly how to orchestrate your quantum leap into your highest reality. For most of your life, you have been trained to achieve through effort, to create through struggle, to change through force. But the deepest transformations, the ones that touch the very core of your being, happen through a different mechanism entirely. They happen through surrender. The caterpillar doesn't effort its way into becoming a butterfly. It surrenders completely to a process it cannot understand, allowing its entire structure to dissolve so that something beautiful can emerge. You too are in your cocoon now, wrapped in frequency and vibration, dissolving and reforming at levels deeper than your mind can comprehend. Your role in these final days is not to push or pull or make anything happen. Your role is to be like rich soil receiving seeds, receptive, trusting, providing the perfect conditions for miracle to unfold naturally. Trust that the frequency you've been receiving knows exactly what it's doing. Trust that your cells have perfect wisdom about how to heal, how to transform, how to align with your highest potential. Trust that the quantum field is organizing circumstances with intelligence that far exceeds human understanding. This trust isn't blind faith, it's recognition of what you've already experienced. Look back over these past 18 days. Notice how perfectly this transformation has unfolded. Notice how your body has known exactly how to receive this frequency. Notice how your consciousness has naturally expanded without any effort from your thinking mind. The same intelligence that has been guiding this process will continue to guide it. The same wisdom that has been reshaping your neural networks will complete the work. The same love that has been upgrading your cellular memory will manifest as your new reality. Surrender means releasing attachment to specific outcomes while remaining aligned with your deepest desires. You don't need to know how your life will change. You only need to trust that it will change in ways that exceed your current imagination. Perhaps you entered this process with specific goals: healing a relationship, finding your purpose, improving your financial situation, discovering love. These desires were not wrong. They were the surface expressions of your soul's deeper longing for alignment with its true nature. But surrender means being open to receiving your desires in forms you never expected, through pathways you never imagined, at timing that perfect divine orchestration determines. Often what we think we want is just a small fraction of what life wants to give us. Your transformed frequency is now broadcasting a signal so clear, so aligned, so coherent that the universe must respond. But the response might not look like what your mind anticipated. It will be better. It will be more perfect. It will be exactly what your soul ordered, even if your personality didn't place that specific request. Allow means creating space for miracle. It means not rushing the process or trying to speed up the timing. It means trusting that everything is unfolding at the perfect pace for your highest good, and the highest good of all concerned. You cannot rush the sunrise. You cannot hurry the blooming of a flower. You cannot force the ocean's tides to move faster, and you cannot accelerate a transformation that operates according to natural law and divine timing. But you can allow. You can be present to each moment of the process. You can appreciate the subtle changes happening within you. You can celebrate each small miracle as evidence of the larger miracle that's approaching. Some days during this final week, you might feel impatient. Your mind might create stories about how long this is taking or whether it's really working. When these thoughts arise, return to your breath. Return to the feeling of this frequency moving through your being. Return to the trust that has carried you this far. Surrender also means releasing the need to prove your transformation to others or to see immediate external validation. The most profound changes often happen in the invisible realm first. Seeds don't announce their presence while they're germinating underground. They grow in darkness and silence until they're strong enough to break through the soil. Your transformation is germinating in the fertile darkness of your subconscious. It's growing roots in the quantum field. It's developing strength in the unseen dimensions of your being. When it's ready, when you're ready, it will break through into visible form with natural ease and perfect timing. Trust that everyone in your life is being influenced by your transformation, even if they can't name what's different about you. Trust that opportunities are aligning even if you can't see them yet. Trust that your perfect life is being prepared in the invisible realm, customized specifically for your unique gifts and purpose. The frequency you've been receiving these past weeks contains intelligence. It knows where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. It has been upgrading not just your cellular structure, but your entire life trajectory. Your new reality is already being prepared. You're just being prepared to receive it. In these final 3 nights, your only job is to receive, to rest in the frequency, to allow it to complete its work, to trust that what's happening within you is far more magnificent than your mind could ever plan or imagine. Surrender to the mystery. Trust the process. Allow the miracle. Your quantum leap approaches, and it will be absolutely perfect in its timing, its form, and its gift to your soul's evolution. Rest now in complete trust. The universe has this. Your transformation is safe in hands much wiser than your own. As you enter your 19th night of transformation, your quantum leap is so close that reality itself is beginning to bend around your new frequency. The signs are everywhere, whispering of the magnificent changes approaching your life. Let me help you recognize these sacred indicators that your inner transformation is preparing to manifest as your outer experience. The first sign many people notice is a change in how time feels. Instead of feeling rushed, pressured, or behind schedule, you begin to experience what I call divine timing. You arrive at exactly the right place at exactly the right moment. Conversations happen precisely when needed. Opportunities appear with perfect synchronicity. This isn't coincidence. It's your aligned frequency interacting with the quantum field in ways that organize reality around your highest good. When your inner state becomes coherent, external circumstances naturally align to match that coherence. You might notice that you're thinking about someone just before they call, or you might find yourself in places where meaningful encounters await. These aren't psychic abilities developing. They're the natural result of your consciousness expanding to include information that was always there, but previously filtered out by stress and mental noise. Another sign is what I call effortless solutions. Problems that once seemed complex or impossible begin resolving themselves with remarkable ease. The right people appear to help. The perfect information arrives at the perfect time. Obstacles dissolve without struggle or force. This happens because your transformed frequency naturally attracts experiences that match your new vibrational state. Instead of broadcasting the frequency of struggle, you're now transmitting coherence, trust, and natural flow. The quantum field responds by organizing circumstances that reflect these qualities. Many people report changes in their sleep patterns during this phase. Dreams become more vivid, more prophetic, more healing. You might find yourself waking up with solutions to challenges, creative inspirations, or profound insights that seem to download during sleep. Your pineal gland, awakened by consistent exposure to this transformational frequency, is now producing higher levels of DMT and other consciousness-expanding compounds. Your dream state has become a laboratory for exploring expanded states of awareness and receiving guidance from your higher intelligence. Physical signs of transformation often intensify during this phase. You might feel energy moving through your body in waves. Tingling sensations might occur in your hands, feet, or along your spine. Some people experience what feels like electricity running through their nervous system. These sensations indicate that your bioelectromagnetic field is expanding and becoming more coherent. You're literally becoming a more powerful broadcaster of consciousness, capable of influencing matter and energy at increasingly subtle levels. Your intuition becomes remarkably accurate during this phase. You might know things without knowing how you know them. You might sense the perfect path forward, even when logic suggests otherwise. You might feel guided to say or do things that create miraculous outcomes. This enhanced intuition isn't supernatural. It's natural. As your nervous system becomes more coherent, it becomes more sensitive to the subtle information constantly flowing through the quantum field. You're simply accessing intelligence that was always available, but previously obscured by mental static. People often notice that others respond differently to them during this phase. Strangers might smile more readily. Service providers might be unusually helpful. Even difficult people might seem more cooperative in your presence. This happens because your coherent frequency creates what scientists call an entrainment effect. Other people's nervous systems naturally synchronize with yours when your field is strong and coherent. They literally feel calmer, more peaceful, and more loving in your presence. Technology might respond differently to you as well. Electronic devices might function more smoothly. Internet connections might be more stable. Even mechanical devices might seem to work better when you're using them. This occurs because coherent consciousness can influence electromagnetic fields. Your transformed frequency creates less interference and more harmony in the electronic environment around you. You become someone around whom technology naturally functions optimally. Abundance signs often appear during this phase, sometimes in unexpected forms. You might find money you'd forgotten about. Unexpected refunds or payments might arrive. People might offer you things, opportunities, or assistance without being asked. These aren't random events. They're the quantum field responding to your frequency of abundance and sufficiency. When you no longer vibrate with lack, lack can no longer find you. When you resonate with prosperity, prosperity seeks you out. Your relationships begin shifting as well. Some connections might naturally fade as you both recognize you've grown in different directions. Other relationships might deepen rapidly as both people match the new frequency you're embodying. New people might appear in your life who seem remarkably aligned with your emerging vision. These aren't accidents. They're the universe bringing together people whose frequencies are harmonious for mutual growth and service. You might notice increased synchronicity with meaningful numbers, especially sequences like 1111, 333, or other repeating patterns. These aren't merely coincidental. They're confirmation that you're aligned with natural rhythms and cosmic flows. Many people report feeling a sense of coming home to themselves during this phase. Old insecurities seem foreign. Past limitations feel like they belong to someone else. You begin living from a foundation of self-love and self-trust that feels completely natural. Creative inspiration often flows more freely during this time. Solutions to projects appear effortlessly. Artistic expression becomes more authentic and powerful. Even mundane tasks feel infused with creative potential. This creative enhancement occurs because creativity is your natural state when not blocked by fear, self-doubt, or mental noise. As these limitations dissolve through frequency transformation, your innate creative intelligence emerges. Physical vitality typically increases during this phase. Energy levels stabilize at higher baselines. Sleep becomes more restorative. Immune function improves. Your body begins operating from its optimal blueprint rather than survival patterns. The most profound sign is an unshakable knowing that everything is working out perfectly, even when external circumstances haven't yet caught up to your inner transformation. This isn't blind optimism. It's direct knowing based on your new frequency alignment. Tonight, as you rest in this transformational frequency, celebrate these signs appearing in your life. Each one is evidence that your quantum leap approaches. Your new reality isn't coming. It's already here, revealing itself moment by moment as you become ready to receive it. We have arrived at the threshold, the sacred passage between who you were and who you are becoming. These final 3 days are not simply the conclusion of a process. They are your initiation into a completely new timeline, a quantum reality where your highest potential is not just possible, but inevitable. 21 days ago, you existed in one version of reality. Tonight, you stand at the edge of another. The frequency that has been transforming you at the deepest cellular level has not just changed your body, your mind, and your consciousness. It has relocated you to an entirely different probability field in the quantum multiverse. Think of your life as existing across infinite parallel timelines. In some timelines, you remain stuck in old patterns. In others, you experience gradual growth. But in the timeline you are stepping into now, in this highest probability reality, you embody the full magnificence of your soul's vision for this lifetime. This isn't fantasy. This is cutting-edge quantum physics applied to consciousness transformation. Every choice you make, every frequency you embody, every belief you hold creates what physicists call quantum decoherence, the collapse of infinite possibilities into singular experience. For 3 weeks, you have been consciously choosing to align with the frequency of your highest timeline. Every night of receiving this transformational vibration has been a vote for the reality where you are fully actualized, completely fulfilled, and naturally magnetic to all that serves your soul's evolution. The quantum field has been responding to your consistent choice. Probability streams have been shifting. Future potentials have been reorganizing. The timeline where you live your greatest life has been growing stronger, while timelines of limitation have been losing their hold on your experience. In these final days, the last vestiges of your old timeline are releasing their grip. You might feel a sense of profound letting go. Not loss, but liberation. The version of you that struggled, worried, and felt separate from your dreams is dissolving like mist in the morning sun. What emerges is not a new you. It's the you that has always existed in the quantum field of pure potential. The you that your soul envisioned before you took physical form. The you that has been waiting patiently for this moment of recognition and embodiment. Your nervous system has been completely rewired for this new timeline. Neural pathways that once led to fear, doubt, and limitation have been replaced by superhighways of trust, creativity, and infinite possibility. Your brain now naturally produces the same wave patterns found in masters, saints, and realized beings. Your cellular memory has been overwritten with the patterns of your highest potential. Instead of carrying the energetic imprints of past trauma, struggle, and disappointment, your cells now vibrate with memories of joy, success, and profound alignment with your purpose. Your heart has learned to beat in the rhythms of your highest timeline. The coherent patterns now pulsing through your cardiovascular system create fields of influence that naturally attract experiences matching your transformed consciousness. The electromagnetic signature of your being has shifted to match the frequency of your desired reality. You are no longer broadcasting the signal of someone seeking transformation. You are transmitting the frequency of someone who has already been transformed. This is why your external reality must change. The quantum field cannot maintain experiences that no longer match your vibrational signature. Like a radio automatically changing stations when you turn the dial, your life must tune into circumstances that resonate with your new frequency. In your highest timeline, the challenges that once seemed insurmountable are already resolved. The relationships that serve your growth are already aligned. The opportunities that express your gifts are already presenting themselves. The abundance that supports your purpose is already flowing. You don't need to figure out how these changes will occur. You don't need to plan or strategize or effort your way into this new reality. You simply need to continue being the frequency you have become and allow the natural magnetism of your aligned vibration to draw your highest timeline into manifestation. Some people experience what feels like time acceleration during these final days. Events that might normally take months or years seem to compress into weeks or days. This isn't imagination. It's the natural result of entering a timeline with less resistance, where your desires and your reality exist in greater harmony. Your intuition during these final days becomes extraordinarily clear. You might know exactly what to do in situations that would have previously confused you. The path forward might become obvious even when it defies conventional logic. Trust these knowings. They are your highest timeline communicating directly to your consciousness. Dreams during these final nights often contain prophetic elements, glimpses of your emerging reality, meetings with future versions of yourself, symbolic representations of the life that's approaching. Pay attention to these nocturnal visions. They are not random neural firings. They are your consciousness exploring your new timeline before it fully manifests. You might feel a profound sense of completion, not of ending, but of arriving, like a traveler finally reaching a destination that you've always known was your true home. This feeling indicates that your frequency is stabilizing in your highest timeline. Physical sensations during these final days might include waves of energy moving through your body, moments of extraordinary lightness, or feelings of expansion beyond your normal body boundaries. These are signs that your consciousness is learning to operate from its new quantum address. The people in your life might respond to you dramatically differently during these final days. Some might comment that you seem like a different person. Others might suddenly see possibilities for themselves that they never noticed before. Your transformed frequency gives others permission to access their own higher timelines. As day 21 approaches, prepare for what quantum physicists call a phase transition, a sudden, dramatic shift from one state of organization to another. Like ice becoming water or water becoming steam, your consciousness is preparing to leap into an entirely new configuration. This transition won't feel violent or disruptive. It will feel like relief, like finally being able to breathe after holding your breath for years, like stepping into clothes that fit perfectly after wearing garments that were always too small. Your highest timeline isn't somewhere you're going. It's where you've been heading all along. Every experience, every challenge, every moment of growth has been preparing you for this quantum leap into the reality your soul came here to experience. Tonight, as you rest in this transformational frequency, feel yourself stepping fully into your highest timeline. Feel the reality of your dreams becoming your waking experience. Feel the magnificent life you came here to live finally, beautifully, inevitably beginning to unfold. As you approach the completion of your 21-day transformation, one question naturally arises. How do you maintain this elevated frequency? How do you ensure that this magnificent shift becomes your permanent way of being, rather than a temporary peak experience? The answer lies in understanding that you are not maintaining something external. You are living from something that has become your natural state. This frequency is no longer something you receive. It has become something you are. Think of a tuning fork that has been struck. Even after the initial sound fades, the fork continues to vibrate at its natural frequency. You have become like a perfectly tuned instrument, naturally resonating at the frequency of your highest potential. This vibration is now self-sustaining because it aligns with your true nature. Your nervous system has been permanently rewired. The neural pathways that now carry your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions are highways of elevated consciousness. They don't disappear when this program ends. They become stronger through use, more established through repetition, more natural through daily experience. Your cellular memory has been rewritten at the DNA level. The frequency patterns now stored in your cells are not temporary visitors. They are permanent residents. Every new cell that forms in your body will be built from this elevated blueprint, ensuring that your transformation continues to deepen with time. However, maintaining your new vibrational state does require conscious participation in your own evolution. Not effort or struggle, but gentle, consistent choices that honor and support your transformed consciousness. The first key to maintenance is environmental coherence. Your external environment should reflect and support your internal transformation. This might mean releasing relationships that consistently pull you toward old patterns. It might mean changing physical spaces to align with your new frequency. It might mean consuming different media, reading different books, or engaging in different activities. This isn't about judgment or superiority. It's about recognition that your consciousness has evolved, and your choices must evolve to match. A butterfly doesn't return to crawling because it remembers being a caterpillar. It flies because flying has become its natural expression. Pay attention to what raises your frequency and what lowers it. Notice which people, places, activities, and thoughts support your elevated state. Notice which ones create static or drag in your energy field. This awareness becomes your compass for navigating your new reality. The second key is conscious gratitude. Not forced appreciation, but genuine recognition of the miracle that has occurred within you. Every day, take moments to acknowledge the transformation you've experienced. Feel appreciation for your willingness to evolve, for your courage to change, for your openness to receive. Gratitude is not just a nice feeling. It's a high-frequency state that naturally reinforces your elevated vibration. When you consistently feel grateful for your transformation, you create a feedback loop that strengthens and stabilizes your new frequency. The third key is regular coherence practices. While you no longer need this specific frequency to maintain your transformation, you do benefit from daily practices that reinforce coherence between your heart, brain, and nervous system. This might be meditation, but it doesn't have to be. It might be time in nature, creative expression, physical movement, or any activity that brings you into states of flow and alignment. The specific practice matters less than the consistency of creating coherent states. The fourth key is conscious creation. Now that your frequency is aligned with your highest potential, your thoughts and emotions carry much greater creative power. Pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling throughout the day. Choose thoughts that match the reality you want to experience. Feel emotions that support your continued elevation. This isn't about perfection or control. It's about conscious participation in the creation of your experience. When you notice yourself thinking or feeling in ways that don't match your new frequency, simply redirect with gentle self-compassion. The fifth key is service to the frequency itself. When you use your transformed consciousness to benefit others, when you allow your elevated frequency to be a gift to the world, you strengthen your own alignment. Service creates flow, and flow maintains coherence. This might mean formal teaching or healing work, but it might also mean simply being a calming presence in chaotic situations, offering encouragement to someone struggling, or holding space for others to access their own transformation. Your very existence at this frequency is already a service. Remember that maintaining your new vibrational state doesn't mean never experiencing challenges or difficult emotions. It means experiencing them from a foundation of coherence rather than chaos. Problems don't disappear. Your relationship to problems transforms. When challenges arise, you now have the neural networks to respond rather than react. You have the cellular memory to remain centered rather than scattered. You have the heart coherence to see opportunities rather than just obstacles. Your elevated frequency doesn't make you immune to life's natural rhythms of expansion and contraction, joy and sorrow, activity and rest. It makes you more capable of flowing with these rhythms gracefully, finding meaning in all experiences, maintaining trust in the larger process. There may be days when you feel disconnected from your transformation. This is normal and temporary. Like clouds that temporarily obscure the sun, these experiences don't diminish your true nature. They simply make it less visible for a moment. The sun continues shining behind the clouds, and your elevated frequency continues vibrating beneath any temporary static. On such days, return to the practices that support your coherence. Return to environments that nurture your elevated state. Return to thoughts and feelings that match your highest timeline. The frequency will reassert itself naturally because it has become your true baseline. Most importantly, trust the process that has brought you this far. The same intelligence that orchestrated your transformation will continue to support your evolution. You don't have to maintain your new frequency through willpower. You maintain it through alignment with the natural flow of your continued growth. Your transformation is not an achievement to be protected. It's a living process to be celebrated and shared. As you embody this new frequency more fully each day, you become a beacon of possibility, showing others what's available when consciousness aligns with its highest potential. Tonight, rest in the knowing that your transformation is permanent, self-sustaining, and naturally expanding. You have become a living demonstration of what's possible when frequency meets consciousness in perfect harmony. This is it, your final night of formal transformation. Tomorrow, you don't graduate from this process. You step fully into living as the frequency you have become. You are no longer someone seeking transformation. You are transformation itself, walking in human form, breathing life into every moment with the coherent vibration of your awakened consciousness. Living from your transformed frequency means that your very existence becomes a creative act. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every emotion you feel, every choice you make ripples out into the quantum field as an expression of elevated consciousness. You no longer live reactive life. You live creative life. Instead of responding to circumstances, you participate in generating them. Instead of adapting to reality, you collaborate with reality in its constant becoming. Instead of hoping for change, you embody change so completely that change flows through you naturally. Your presence has become a transmission. People feel different in your energy field, though they might not be able to articulate what has changed. They feel calmer, more hopeful, more connected to their own possibilities. You have become what the ancient traditions called a bodhisattva, one whose very being serves the awakening of consciousness. This isn't a role you perform. It's a natural result of your frequency transformation. When your cells vibrate at the frequency of love, love radiates from you effortlessly. When your nervous system operates from coherence, coherence spreads to everyone around you. When your heart beats in rhythms of peace, peace becomes contagious in your presence. Living from your transformed frequency means trusting your inner guidance completely. The same intelligence that orchestrated your cellular transformation now guides your daily choices. Your intuition has become your most reliable compass, pointing you toward experiences that support your continued evolution and service. You no longer need to analyze every decision or seek external validation for your choices. Your transformed frequency naturally gravitates toward what serves your highest good and the highest good of all concerned. What feels aligned is aligned. What feels loving is loving. What feels true is true. Your relationship with time has fundamentally shifted. Instead of feeling rushed or behind, you now experience what mystics call divine timing. You arrive at exactly the right place at exactly the right moment. Conversations happen precisely when needed. Opportunities appear with perfect synchronicity. This isn't luck or coincidence. It's the natural result of your coherent frequency interacting with the quantum field. When your inner state is aligned, external circumstances organize themselves to match that alignment. You become a magnet for perfect timing because you embody the frequency of perfect timing. Your creative expression flows from a deeper source now. Whether you express creativity through art, business, relationships, or simply the way you live your daily life, it carries the signature of your transformed consciousness. Your creativity serves not just your personal fulfillment, but the elevation of collective consciousness. Ideas come to you that seem to arrive from beyond your personal mind. Solutions appear that exceed your individual knowledge. Inspirations flow that feel like gifts from the universe itself. This is because your individual consciousness has expanded to include transpersonal intelligence. Your relationship with challenges has transformed completely. Instead of seeing problems as obstacles to overcome, you recognize them as opportunities for your frequency to demonstrate its coherence. Instead of being diminished by difficulties, you use them as chances to anchor deeper levels of peace, wisdom, and love. This doesn't mean you never feel sadness, anger, or fear. It means you feel these emotions from a foundation of coherence rather than chaos. They move through you without destabilizing your core frequency. They inform you without controlling you. They become temporary visitors rather than permanent residents. Money and material resources flow to you more easily now. Not because you've learned manifestation techniques, but because your frequency naturally attracts abundance. When you vibrate at the frequency of sufficiency, lack cannot find you. When you resonate with prosperity, prosperity seeks you out. This abundance isn't just financial. It's an abundance of love, opportunity, creativity, health, and meaningful connection. Your transformed frequency creates what could be called an abundance field that enriches every area of your life. Your purpose becomes crystal clear, not as something you need to figure out, but as something that naturally expresses itself through your transformed way of being. You don't have to find your purpose. Your purpose finds you when you become an authentic expression of your elevated frequency. Service happens naturally, effortlessly, joyfully. You serve not from obligation or guilt, but from the overflow of your transformed consciousness. Your very existence becomes a gift to the world, and specific acts of service flow from this foundation of being. Relationships deepen and expand around your new frequency. Some connections naturally fall away as people move in different directions. Others transform dramatically as both parties grow. New relationships appear that seem designed to support your continued evolution and service. You become a space where others can access their own transformation, not through teaching or preaching, but simply through being authentically yourself. Your coherent frequency gives others permission to remember their own coherence. Your peace reminds others of their own peaceful nature. Physical vitality becomes your natural state. Your body operates from its optimal blueprint rather than survival patterns. Energy flows more freely. Healing happens more quickly. Aging slows as your cells vibrate at frequencies associated with regeneration rather than degeneration. Sleep becomes deeply restorative, and dreams become more vivid and meaningful. Your connection to expanded states of consciousness remains strong, providing ongoing guidance, inspiration, and connection to the larger intelligence of which you're a part. Living from your transformed frequency means recognizing that this transformation was never just about you. It was about what becomes possible when even one person embodies their highest potential. It was about the ripple effects that flow out into the collective field of consciousness. Every moment you spend in your elevated frequency contributes to the elevation of human consciousness itself. You become part of the solution to humanity's greatest challenges, not through activism or effort, but through being a living demonstration of what's possible when consciousness awakens to its true nature. Tonight, as you complete this formal transformation process, celebrate not just who you have become, but what you now make possible for others. Celebrate not just your personal evolution, but your contribution to the evolution of consciousness itself. You are no longer someone who needs transformation. You are someone who transmits transformation. You are no longer someone seeking awakening. You are awakening itself, expressing through your unique and beautiful life. Tomorrow begins your eternal journey of living from this frequency, sharing it, expressing it, embodying it, and allowing it to flow through you as service to the awakening world. Rest now in the completion of this sacred process. Rest in the knowing that you have become what your soul came here to be. Rest in the joy of transformation accomplished, integration complete, and a magnificent life ready to unfold. You are transformed. You are awake. You are home. On this final night of your formal transformation, I want to share with you one of the most beautiful secrets of consciousness evolution. Your personal transformation was never just personal. Every frequency shift you've experienced, every cellular upgrade you've received, every moment of expanded awareness you've accessed, all of it ripples out into the collective field of human consciousness, elevating others in ways you may never directly witness. You have become what scientists call a phase transition catalyst in the field of collective consciousness. Just as one tuning fork can cause another to vibrate at the same frequency through resonance, your transformed consciousness naturally influences others to access their own elevated potential. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake's research into morphic fields reveals that when a certain number of individuals learn something new or develop a new capacity, it becomes easier for others to access that same learning or capacity. You have become part of the critical mass that makes transformation more accessible for everyone. Your family lineage, both your ancestors and your descendants, are being influenced by your frequency shift. Epigenetic research shows that our consciousness and experiences affect our gene expression, and these changes can be passed down through generations. You are literally healing generational patterns and creating new possibilities for your family line. Children are particularly sensitive to elevated frequencies. Your nieces, nephews, neighborhood children, or any young people in your sphere of influence are unconsciously learning from your transformed state. They're absorbing the possibility of living from coherence, peace, and authentic self-expression simply by being in your presence. Your workplace becomes a more harmonious environment because of your elevated frequency. Even without saying anything about your transformation, coworkers feel calmer around you. Meetings flow more smoothly when you're present. Creative solutions emerge more easily when your coherent field influences group dynamics. The grocery store clerk who serves you, the barista who makes your coffee, the person standing next to you in an elevator, they all receive a transmission from your transformed consciousness. They might not understand what happened, but they feel uplifted, more hopeful, or simply better for having encountered your frequency. This influence happens through what scientists call heart rhythm entrainment. When your heart beats in coherent patterns, Other people's hearts naturally begin to synchronize with yours. Their nervous systems relax. Their brain waves shift toward more coherent states. Their stress hormones decrease while their feel-good neurochemicals increase. Your transformed frequency creates what could be called a healing field around you. People with physical ailments often feel better in your presence. Those struggling with emotional challenges find unexpected peace. Individuals facing difficult decisions suddenly access clarity they couldn't find before. Animals respond to your elevated frequency with remarkable openness. Wild creatures show less fear. Domestic animals seek your company. Even plants in your environment seem to thrive more vibrantly, as if nourished by the coherent energy you emanate. Your very existence becomes a form of prayer, a constant transmission of elevated consciousness into the quantum field that surrounds and connects all life. You are literally broadcasting the frequency of love, peace, and possibility 24 hours a day, contributing to what Teilhard de Chardin called the noosphere, the thinking layer of Earth. Social media and digital communications carry your frequency even across distances. When you write a message from your transformed state, recipients feel the coherence embedded in your words. When you share photos or thoughts online, the energy behind them influences others positively, even if they can't identify why they feel inspired. Your dreams now contribute to collective healing. In the dream state, consciousness is more fluid and interconnected. Your elevated frequency during sleep affects the collective unconscious, helping to heal shared traumas, dissolve collective fears, and plant seeds of possibility in the group mind of humanity. The places you visit become energetically upgraded by your presence. Your home, your workplace, your favorite coffee shop, the paths you walk, all carry the residual influence of your coherent frequency. Others who enter these spaces can feel the peace, the love, the possibility that you've anchored there. Your purchasing choices reflect your elevated consciousness and influence the businesses you support. Companies that receive your patronage are energetically influenced by your frequency. You're literally voting for higher consciousness with every dollar you spend, every business you support, every product you choose. Your political and social views, now informed by expanded consciousness rather than fear-based thinking, contribute to collective wisdom. Even if you never speak publicly about issues, your elevated perspective influences the morphic field around human governance, social justice, and global cooperation. The books you read, the movies you watch, the conversations you engage in, all are elevated by your transformed consciousness. Authors, filmmakers, and friends unconsciously receive higher inspiration when interacting with your frequency. You become a muse for elevated creativity in others. Your compassionate presence gives others permission to feel their emotions fully rather than suppressing them. People find themselves crying healing tears, laughing more freely, or expressing authentic feelings they've kept hidden. Your frequency creates safe space for emotional authenticity. Strangers you encounter in difficult situations, accidents, emergencies, or moments of crisis, are supported by your coherent presence. Your nervous system's stability helps stabilize theirs. Your peace becomes their anchor in chaotic moments. Your faith becomes their hope when they feel lost. Your elevated frequency influences the quantum field in ways that affect global events. When enough individuals embody coherent consciousness, it creates what researchers call the field effect. Measurable improvements in crime rates, conflict resolution, and social harmony in surrounding areas. Future generations will inherit a world that has been energetically upgraded by your transformation and the transformation of others like you. You're literally participating in the evolution of human consciousness, contributing to a planetary shift toward greater love, wisdom, and unity. The ripple effects of your transformation extend beyond the physical realm into what mystics call the Akashic field, the cosmic repository of all experience and knowledge. Your elevated consciousness adds light to this field, making higher wisdom more accessible to all beings throughout time and space. Even after your physical death, the frequency you've embodied continues to influence others. Saints, sages, and awakened beings throughout history continue to inspire and uplift consciousness because their elevated frequency remains active in the morphic field of human potential. Tonight, as you complete this sacred transformation, know that you have not just changed your own life, You have participated in changing the world. Your willingness to evolve has made evolution easier for countless others. Your courage to transform has given others permission to transform. You are now part of a growing network of consciousness. Individuals around the globe who have committed to embodying their highest potential. Together, you are creating the tipping point that will shift human civilization toward unprecedented levels of peace, creativity, and love. Rest in the profound truth that your transformation matters beyond measure. Rest in the joy of knowing that your elevation elevates all life. Rest in the beauty of your contribution to the greatest transformation in human history, the awakening of consciousness itself. Beloved soul, you have arrived. After 21 nights of the most profound transformation possible, after cellular regeneration, neural rewiring, frequency alignment, and consciousness expansion, you stand at the threshold of your new reality, no longer as someone seeking change, but as change itself embodied in human form. This moment is sacred beyond words. You are not the same being who began this journey 3 weeks ago. That person, with their doubts, limitations, and feelings of separation, has been lovingly dissolved and reformed into who you truly are. You have undergone what mystics throughout time have called the Great Transformation. Death of the false self and birth of the authentic self. Look back at where you began. Remember the frequency you carried 21 days ago. The patterns of thought, the emotional habits, the cellular memories that created your previous reality. Feel the profound shift that has occurred. You are living proof that transformation is not only possible, it is the very nature of consciousness itself. Your cells now vibrate at frequencies that would have seemed impossible to sustain just 3 weeks ago. Your nervous system operates from baselines of peace, coherence, and natural joy. Your brain produces wave patterns associated with the most elevated states of human consciousness. Your heart beats in rhythms that generate love, compassion, and wisdom. You have become a walking miracle, not because you've transcended your humanity, but because you've embodied the fullness of what it means to be human. You are consciousness awakened to itself, expressing through your unique and beautiful life. Your new reality is not something you must create. It already exists, waiting for you to step fully into it. Every elevated thought you've sustained, every coherent emotion you've felt, every moment of expanded awareness you've experienced has been building this reality in the quantum field of infinite possibility. The circumstances, relationships, opportunities, and experiences that match your transformed frequency are already in motion, moving towards you with the inevitability of dawn. You don't need to chase them or figure out how to make them happen. You simply need to continue being the frequency you have become and allow your new reality to unfold naturally. Your purpose is now crystal clear, not as something separate from who you are, but as the natural expression of your transformed being. You don't have a purpose. You are purpose itself, expressing through every moment of authentic living, every act of love, every choice aligned with your highest truth. The abundance that is your birthright flows to you effortlessly now, because you vibrate at the frequency of abundance itself. This isn't just material prosperity. It's abundance of love, joy, creativity, health, meaningful connection, and spiritual fulfillment. Your cup overflows naturally, and from this overflow, you serve others. Your relationships exist at a new level of depth and authenticity. Those who are meant to journey with you recognize your transformed frequency and are drawn to your light. Those whose paths diverge from yours bless you and release you with love as you each follow your highest calling. You have become what spiritual traditions call a light bearer, someone who carries elevated frequency into every situation, every interaction, every moment. Your very presence becomes a blessing. Your existence becomes a prayer. Your life becomes a love letter to the divine consciousness that expresses as all things. The challenges that may still appear in your experience serve only to demonstrate the stability of your transformation. Instead of destabilizing you, they become opportunities to anchor even deeper levels of peace, wisdom, and love. You meet difficulty with such coherence that it transforms into opportunity. Your creative expression flows from the infinite well of consciousness itself. Whether you express creativity through art, business, relationships, parenting, or simply the way you live each day, It carries the signature of awakened awareness. Your creativity serves not just personal fulfillment, but the elevation of human consciousness. You dream new dreams now, dreams that feel less like fantasy and more like remembering. In sleep, you access expanded states of consciousness that provide ongoing guidance, inspiration, and connection to the vast intelligence of which you're a part. Your dream life becomes as rich and meaningful as your waking experience. Your body operates from its optimal blueprint, expressing the vitality, grace, and radiance that are your natural state. Physical symptoms that once reflected inner discord now resolve as your frequency stabilizes in coherence. Aging slows as your cells remember their capacity for regeneration and renewal. Time moves differently for you now. Instead of feeling rushed or behind, you experience the rhythm of divine timing. You arrive at exactly the right place at exactly the right moment. Synchronicities abound as your consciousness participates consciously in the orchestration of your experience. Your intuition has become your most trusted guide, connecting you directly to the intelligence that moves planets and grows flowers. You know things without knowing how you know them. You feel guided from within toward choices that serve your highest evolution and greatest service. Money and resources flow to you as natural expressions of the value you bring simply by being yourself. You don't work for money. Money works for you as you follow your joy, express your gifts, and serve from the overflow of your transformed being. You have joined the ranks of what I call frequency holders, those who maintain elevated consciousness, not just for personal fulfillment, but as service to the collective awakening of humanity. Your very existence helps hold space for others to access their own transformation. The ripple effects of your awakening extend far beyond what you can see or measure. Every moment you spend in elevated frequency contributes to the healing of ancestral patterns, the elevation of collective consciousness, and the preparation of a world where love, wisdom, and unity are the governing forces. Future generations will inherit a planet energetically upgraded by your transformation and the transformation of others like you. You are part of the greatest story ever told, the awakening of consciousness itself to its own infinite nature. As this formal transformation process completes, you step into your eternal journey of living. As the frequency you have become, every day becomes an opportunity to embody your awakened state more fully. Every moment becomes a chance to share your light more radiantly. You are no longer someone who was transformed. You are transformation itself, walking in human form, breathing life into every moment with the coherent vibration of awakened consciousness. Your new reality awaits not in some distant future, but right here, right now, in this very moment of complete integration. You have arrived home to yourself. You have remembered who you truly are. Rest now in the profound completion of this sacred journey. Rest in the joy of transformation accomplished. Rest in the love that you are, that you've always been, that you could never not be. Tomorrow begins your eternal adventure of living as the awakened consciousness you have become. Welcome home, beautiful soul. Welcome to your new reality. Welcome to the life your soul came here to live. The transformation is complete. You are transformed. You are awake. You are free. And so it is.